Nice to see you, Seth.
Hey,
Hey, I want to ask you one question. What is the impact for good that you hope to do in the world?
hey, I came to United to learn how I can use my gifts and talents and experience from the first half of my life, as I like to call it, and admittedly my brokenness too, to achieve justice and what I call long-term peace and prosperity for people who are in similar places or who are similarly or more oppressed as my ancestors and grandparents were just a generation or two behind me. And more specifically, I'm pretty hell-bent on getting kids and families and community members access to spaces and land in their own communities that they can use to improve their overall quality of life and their depth of spiritual connectedness to one another and to creation, to nature, and even to God if she's important to them. My social transformation project revolves around a concept called pocket parks, which establishes small footholds of commonly owned property in urban neighborhoods for use however the neighbors need or want it to be used. And really important and centered in this landscape of my project are children and their voices, which really represent to me and to the neighborhoods the future and also reflect the past. And they're a huge focus of delivering this good from these efforts that I endeavor to do through my education and time at United.
Tell us about the intersection of your faith and community centered climate solutions.
Yeah, I had mentioned my grandparents, and I have a Jewish faith background. There's an adage that if you ask any two Jews for an answer on a faith-based question, you'll get at least three answers. And I really embrace this ambiguity in my inherited faith tradition. And as such, I've become a reflective, naturalist, humanist Jew with a lot of shades of things like pluralism and pantheism and some other isms painted into the margins of who I am and my identity. But still, modern Jews like me mostly carry a legacy of values passed along from over time from past generations. And one of these is what we call tikkun olam, which you might have heard of. But in Hebrew, it means our obligation to heal the world and to leave it a better place. So when it comes to like the pain and suffering in the world, there are a lot of choices to help heal. My interpretation of tikkun olam individually, personally, is pretty literal. The planet itself is suffering greatly right now, and as interconnected parts of creation, I believe very deeply and strongly that it's my obligation to help protect and heal the planet through whatever means I can.
Seth, who is a spiritual leader or an activist that really informs your passion for service?
The person who most informs my passion is Einstein, Albert Einstein. He, if you don't know much about him or you know sort of what's in the common nomenclature, that's okay too. He had two primary external drives during his very prolifically abundant life. One was the search for truth when it came to how the universe works and operates. And two was his quest for unity and equity among nations. So these drives and like his vision for unifying theories never really waffled, even if it cost him in the public face and he lost face in the eyes of the public or the academy or even his family. He was really clear-eyed until the end of his life about failure and success, knowing that real answers to his life's questions were unknowable. And also that unity among people and nations, his second drive was a really far off dream. So similar to Martin Luther King Jr. in some ways. I also really respect Einstein because he was grounded in his Jewish identity, while at the same time he really didn't bend to any dogma or a specific tradition that really that might have tested poorly against his personal values or his lived experiences. I'd like to reflect that kind of value, and I kind of look up to that approach to life. And if I could like learn to apply one Einsteinian type lesson from my study of theology and religion, ethics, and social change at United, it would be to keep the most radical of open-mindedness about the world and about other people in balance with a real, let's call it zealous fidelity to my core value of seeking peace through justice.